Hello, everyone. My name is Danny, and this review is for the movie called I Think We're Alone Now. Dell is alone in the world. After the human race is wiped out, he lives in a small, empty town, content in his solitude and the utopia he's methodically created for himself, until he is discovered by Grace, an interloper whose history and motives are obscure. Worse yet, she wants to stay. This is a 2018 film. It is rated R. It stars Peter Dinklage, Elle Fanning, and it has some other people in it too, but not too many. That's a small cast movie. So, um, boy, I'll tell you, I have not heard anything about this film, and I just kind of came up on my list and I saw the stars that it had. I'm like, well, this better be good because it's just like Will Smith's movie, and it's just like other people's movies where something has happened to the world and there's one person left, and we have to watch them go through their craziness and use their surroundings day after day after day to create whatever makes sense in their mind to keep them sane. And yeah, after watching so many versions of this movie before, I was kind of excited, to be honest. I wanted to see something that I was kind of familiar with, and I was hoping it would be exciting. I thought it would be, original, with Peter Dinklage, who is a small person, and I thought, he's such a great actor that I thought, well, this should be good. So I was very quickly proven wrong on that, but I did enjoy watching it. I'm glad I saw it, and I do appreciate Peter Dinklage for being such a great actor. I really do. So I do. The biggest thing about this movie is I have so many questions, and none of them got answered. It's its biggest flaw. It's the thing I'm going to remember it about. No answers whatsoever. It does not explain the rules of their universe, this movie's universe. I mean, like a lot of different movies we watch, they're pretty consistent that there's no electricity whatsoever, that cars are not able to run, that, just all animals are dead, and maybe Will Smith's movie has one dog, but otherwise most creatures have turned into some kind of zombie or something. So I don't know. It's just like every movie has its own set of rules, but this one doesn't seem to really have any strict guidelines. Like there are fish, but there aren't any, real other animals left. They actually have a conversation about how there's no chickens. I mean, it's kind of a weird, set of guidelines, and I would have appreciated things being explained a little bit. The cars running is the biggest thing for me. I just can't understand if your world gets zapped and all the people die, then maybe they didn't take over the whole planet. Maybe it's some kind of flash kind of thing. But, if there's no electricity in houses, then cars shouldn't run. I'm going to be a stickler on that. I don't really understand how that made any sense. Um, there's this time that when they start to develop these two characters, which is really all that they have to work off of in this movie, and so they have to be creative. Um, Grace, the character, ends up snooping through Dell's stuff and trying to find out about his, like history and past and family, and he has these folders with pictures. She ends up going snooping through there, and I just want to take a step back from watching the movie, and that's what I did at that moment. I'm just like, okay, there's two people left in the world, and maybe they don't want to be by each other. Maybe each of them is kind of okay being by themselves. Like, are we really going to create trust issues between these two? Like, I mean, like, if you don't want to be around each other, just don't be around each other. There's plenty of open space, I mean, the second you get anywhere close to each other, you have to create trust issues and have attitude and all this stuff. I just did not like that character development whatsoever. It didn't make much sense, and I think if the people making this movie would have taken a step back and saw that, I don't think they would have seen it making sense either. It did help the audience with that because we got to see what Elle Fanning was trying to do, but it just didn't help the movie. And then my other big problem is really with is really with the character Grace. I don't know what Fanning was going for here when she was, trying to work on what this character should be. I don't know how old the character is supposed to be, or like what her past is supposed to like help her learn or anything, but she really acts like a child in this movie. Like, she's one of the last two people supposedly left on the earth, and she finds another human being, and she just acts like a little kid. She's running up and down the library thing, knocking over books. She's drinking wine like all the time. So I just don't understand what they were going for. I mean, somebody that's a little older and has more attitude and it, ends up drinking a lot and being an alcoholic, or like a teenage girl that just has attitude because she's confused and she's needy and she doesn't want to be by herself, so she attaches herself to an older guy because he's the only one left, and that's why, I just don't understand what they were going for with her, and it was a little annoying throughout. So the last thing is the last part of this movie, and it makes no sense whatsoever. I don't know why they threw it in. I think they could have survived without it. It doesn't add much to the movie. It gets confusing and it doesn't answer itself, and it doesn't offer a real obstacle to Dell, who is the main character and has to kind of figure it out. It's just, weird that he goes in, he takes care of it, and he walks out and goes on to live his life, I guess. It's just the weirdest ending. And, there's plenty and plenty of ways to handle a movie where somebody's a sole survivor, and to sell somebody on that kind of idea and then to have the ending they did in this movie, I think just flops completely. So you can throw another star in there. You can have, some kind of cool slow moving camera and everything. I mean, everything was very dramatic in this movie. I did appreciate that. But there's a lot to this I kind of thought was neat. I kind of thought was cool. It's just was handled completely wrong with the characters and the story and the ending. It was just terrible. So I'm gonna end up giving I Think We're Alone Now a C minus. I didn't hate it by any means. I just think there was a lot wrong with it, and I just think that they could have handled it differently. But I do appreciate the 3 stars that are in this movie, and I will always continue to watch them. And I just think this project didn't really know what it wanted to be, even though it was a cool idea. And I'm glad I saw it. I just think it was a really terrible kind of setup idea. So a C minus for I Think We're Alone Now. Thanks a lot, guys. My name's Danny. If you like this or any of my other videos, try and give some of them a watch. Like and subscribe to my channel if you would. And enjoy your movies. Thanks.